Hey everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I am your host, Chris Bello, and today I've got Dean Graziosi with me. Dean, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, man. Good to
If you want to give like a 1-second elevator pitch for who you are in case anyone in my audience is crazy enough to not know who you are.
No, all good, man. And listen, Chris, I love what you're doing. I love you're giving back to the world. Listen, quick elevator pitch. It really doesn't matter what I do. You just know this. No matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, I promise you I've been there. I've been broker than broke and scared and envious of other people getting ahead and not sure I had the capabilities, thought of myself as an imposter, had that negative voice tell me I wasn't good enough. But I also broke through that. And I know what it's like to get your first sale and start your first business. I know what it's like to fail miserably. I know what it's like to rebound and learn from those mistakes. I know what it's like to go through 4 recessions and kind of screw it up 2 times and thrive 2 other times. Again, I know what it's like to want to get to 100 grand a year and then get to 100 grand a month and then get to 100 grand a week and then get to 100 grand a day. I've been in all those variations. I failed miserably, but I'm at a point now where I'm 51 years old. I've been in business for over 32 years. I've started over 13 companies. I'm blessed to be a multiple New York Times best-selling author, blessed to be partners with my dear friends like Tony Robbins and Brendan Burchard and Russell Brunson. I've been blessed to do some really cool things. So the only reason I share that is because I know you have a lot of things that could occupy your time, a lot of different podcasts, a lot of different videos. But if you're going to spend time with Chris and I, we're going to light it up. This is about delivering you capabilities from someone who's been there. This isn't theory for me. This isn't a hope for me. So I'm here to serve at the highest level, Chris. So let's knock it out of the park.
That's awesome. Let's do it. And I also wanted to congratulate you on the newest addition to your family as well. I saw that.
A 5-week-old.
Yeah. So you're trying to get used to working from home and the 5-week-old. And I'm sure there's a lot of new things going on over there.
Yeah.
Very happy for you though. I've seen the photos and I'm very excited for you. I know you just listed a bunch of accomplishments. And of course you mentioned you failed several times as well. So the key takeaway there is just to continue showing up. You're going to learn, you're going to continue to network and grow. How do you find yourself networking these days? Are you obviously more virtual? Do you just leverage other connections that you have?
So I'm kind of an introvert. I do a lot of stuff, but I don't network like as the traditional network type of thing. I'm more of someone who I work on my own stuff. I surround myself with great people. I join masterminds. I'm on mastermind groups. Now it's mastermind Zooms. I love sharing with people in the industry that are having breakthroughs or having struggles, and we can help each other. But I have to say, listen, these are really unprecedented times in the world, right? I'm
Definitely.
been through 4 down markets. This is different than anything. If you're a little more scared this time than any other time, congratulations for being human, because we're not used to this, right? We're not sure where the world's going, where our career's going, where your income's going, if the business you're in is going to thrive or the business you want to start should even be started. We don't know what's going on with health. We worry about people we love and we're being told to stay home and social distance. Like, it's a lot to freak out anyone. But here's what I want to tell you from someone who's been through 9/11, which was kind of overnight scary here in America especially, is these are the times when innovation can catapult you to a whole nother level. This is a time when you need to be a leader, be a role model. This is a time you have to check your thoughts more than ever before in history. This is a time that you can't be thinking about what you messed up on yesterday. You missed out having your business ready. You should be in the digital economy already. You should have your information business already. You can't worry about what you missed. You can't worry about you blew money on stupid crap and now you're like, damn, I should have had that money in savings. Now that this, none of that. Like, if you want to be a leader in uncertain times, there's a few key things that, and not that we need to go down a personal development road, Chris, you reel me in any place you want. I just think this is really important. Leaders will evolve exponentially in front of the world. And those of you who are waiting for someone else to fix it or think it's just going to get better will be massively left behind, and you will feel it, and it will take you years to catch up. You get to make that decision right now, because here's what I want to tell you. If this is your first ship where it actually means something, or your second one and this time it means something, this too shall end. And you get to decide today by what capabilities go in your mind, what thoughts you have, what actions you take, what seeds you plant now. You get to decide who you will become when this is over. Do you want to be the person that missed out, that binged out on Netflix or procrastinated or obsessed on the news? Or do you want to be somebody who filled your mind with new capabilities? You were an investigative reporter to find out what industries were thriving. You positioned yourself so when the world changes, you're out in front. And out in front doesn't mean you're taking advantage of everybody. You could pull everybody with you. But who wants to be in the back of the pack? Not me. So just remember, what you're doing now will have a magnifying glass on it in 6 months from now. And if that's not enough encouragement to gain capabilities, then nothing is.
I love that. And how would you recommend people can be a leader? Is it just stepping up and instead of spreading the fear on social media, just posting positive messages and just being a leader by example?
You want to be someone who posts positive messages. There's a couple of things. I know this might sound back to basics, but one is your focus. If you focus on what you lost or what you don't have right now, it's completely different than focusing on what you do have and what you can achieve, right? So think about this. If your focus is, man, my business was all getting off the ground, but now it's gone. My company, they just had it down. Like man, I got to stay home. It's crazy with all the kids in the other room. Like if that's what your focus is, there's no time to get in flow state. There's no time for innovation, right? But if your focus is, hey, I got to wake up today. It's not perfect, but I'm here. I get to gain new capabilities. I get to listen to podcasts. I have more time to finish that course, start that course, write the book, read the book. Whatever you focus on is what you get. Leaders focus on what they do have, not what they don't or what they lost. Simple as that. And this is a time, Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. The tide has gone out. The great economy can't hold you up. We are not going to get stimulus money. No one's going to bail us out. Prince Charming is not coming. And when you accept that, it's this freeing feeling like I'm in control of my destiny. I'm in control of the failure. I'm in control of the success. So one is what you focus on, whether you lost or you haven't. One is taking action with the things that could actually move the needle rather than worrying about the past or painting a movie of what's going to happen in 3 months. What can you do in this moment? Like when you're done listening to Chris and I today, what can you do that moves you towards a better version of you? That gains you a new capability, that starts the business, that could scale the business, or shifting and reinventing yourself in another industry. Another one is really investigating, like an investigative reporter, what industries are going to thrive in this, right? I look at it this way, Chris, like a pendulum. If you push a pendulum so far to one side, it still never goes all the way back where it was, right?
Right.
The world has gone virtual in a huge way. All of us are virtual. There's a lot of things that I'm never going back to. I'm not going to travel as much. We're doing virtual masterminds right now that are crushing it. And people are giving us better ratings with our virtual mastermind than they do we're in person, right? Some things are going to shift and never come back. So how can you be an investigative reporter and take your skill, your hobby, your passion, your expertise, and be able to shift it into an exponentially growing industry? Be a part of the digital economy, be a part of the information age, a part of the knowledge industry, or whatever industry you can find. With a little work, you'll see what's going up and what's going down, right?
Definitely.
And leaders, like being a role model is, I'm going to do that. I love this analogy. I love the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Who doesn't, right? It's just a simple book, right? One mouse is waiting for his cheese to come back when it was moved. The other mouse goes out and finds new cheese, right? But it's something like one door closes, another one opens. We've heard that forever. But most of the time when a door closes, Chris, people just stand there jiggling the knob waiting for it to open back up.
Waiting for the same door to open back up, right?
I just want to go back there. I didn't even like what was on the other side of the door.
You got to go find the cheese.
but I just want, just give me my cheese back, right?
Yeah.
And someone else says, I might have to go down 15 different hallways of these other doors, but one of them has my next level of life on.
Absolutely. So you're just constantly looking for for where the cheese went. And I know I don't want people to get confused and think that they have to opportunity hop, because I know focus is also very important. So in terms of adapting into growing social media and everything, I think I remember following you kind of when you had earlier, you just started your Instagram profile and you're already at like 1 million subscribers and you get tons of engagement. I can't even remember how many posts that you have. So in terms of adapting and growing like social media presence and just the newest platforms and everything, what would you recommend to someone who's just starting off? Like, I'm assuming you've got a team in place, but you probably create a lot of that content on your own as well.
Sure thing. Great question, Chris. So first off, I want to tell you this. If you're just starting off and you see, I have 1 million, someone else has 5, 10, 20 million, here's what'll mess you up.
You can't compare. That's true.
What changes that forever is right now, at this very second, there is someone on this earth that needs your message. Just one person. One person is going through a tough time. One person's going to have a bad day. One person's about to go in a divorce. They don't need to. One person's going to stay lonely. One person's going to stay sad. One person's going to have no hope. Or maybe you just love to teach people how to eat better or fish better. Whatever it is that you want to share with somebody, I promise you, there's at least one person right now that needs what it is that you have to offer. And when you look at it through those eyes, you don't feel like, oh, I've done all this work and only 6 people watched my video.
Right.
Listen, I messed up big time. I had started in infomercials in 1998. And people are like, why'd you go to infomercial? Because there was no iTunes and podcasts and the internet didn't exist, right? Tony Robbins was in infomercials. I'm like, I'm going to do that, right? I had such a great run for 20 years on infomercials that I really ignored social media, Chris. Like, I mean, it was 3 years ago, I had 10,000 followers on my Instagram account. And the only reason I finally snapped out of it, I had a kid that was in my office interviewing, and somebody said something about Dean Graziosi. And he goes, yeah, somebody said he was a big shot. He's got no followers on Instagram. He's a nobody. Like, that's basically what he said. Wow.
Ouch. You're like, what? Yeah, Instagram followers are everything these days.
It's like your calling card, but it just gave me a different perspective.
Right.
And I put the effort in, and here's the thing. It was really hard. I had the #1 infomercial in the world while simultaneously, 40 comments on my last 2 posts, right? It's like, it was gut-wrenching to start there. I'm like, hey, can I just cut a check and get, it's not
get 1 million followers? Right.
So here's what I did. I decided who I wanted to talk to. And that's step 1. Who do you want to talk to? And 2, how do you want to be a hero to them? Right? What do you want to do? And then pick 3 things you want to talk about on a regular basis. I love talking about success. I love talking about success and mindset. I love talking about my wife and my kids. And I love talking about just living a healthy lifestyle. Those 3 things are kind of what I talk about: success and habits, my family, and health. And I knew who I wanted to serve. And I don't do super fancy posts, and I don't do a lot of them out to dinner. Here's what I'm eating. I don't do a lot of personal stuff. That's just me. I'm kind of private. My wife wants me to do more stuff, but I decided I wanted to deliver value every day. That was my goal. If you watch my Instagram, every day I do a 1 to 2 minute story, and I hope to deliver massive value. And that just caught on. And maybe some people want to see you're out to dinner, having cocktails, drinking, driving in the Lambo. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's just not me. Every day I think of for 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, what value can I deliver today to my tribe who needs me today? Like today, what did I talk about today? I did a story today of, one of the things you need to be a leader in today's society. Like every day there's something. And I just stayed consistent. And I have to be honest, Chris, it grew like a snail. I was like, today. And then all of a sudden it got a little blip, and then a little more. And then there was this turning point, and then it's just been growing like crazy. I mean, 6 months ago, we were at 600,000 people. We just passed 1 million. And
no way. It just snowballed like that. That's amazing.
So just consistency, know who your audience is, know how you want to be a hero to them, and know that you're just serving one person at a time.
I really love what you just said there too, with the 3 things, picking 3 things that you want to talk about and just going in on those topics every single day, adding value in those ways. Because it's so difficult to think, even with my own podcast, I'll talk about kind of marketing and sales, and then I'll talk about mindset. And so that will really help me just focus on a couple key things for my audience going forward as well. So I've got a couple other questions here. I typed a bunch, and I know we don't have the time for all of them.
Let's go on through them quick.
Okay, let's do it. Let's bust them out. So mastermind.com, how did you guys break the internet with that one? How did you, what was the thought process on it? How did you just roll it out and impact so many people so quickly?
Here's the thing. I mean, it's one of those things. People are like, how'd you and Tony do the largest launch in internet history in 8 days? I'm like, dude, that didn't take 8 days. That took like 50 years of us being in business, building goodwill, right? Like we had 50 years of building goodwill, understanding courses, understanding what people need, right? And we were teaching in our industry, right? Like we've been in the self-education industry, Tony 40 years, me 22. We got 6 years in this industry. And it's like, we're teaching something we absolutely love. We're teaching the thing that changed our lives, right? So we created the course. We have 1 million friends that we've never asked favors to. So everybody and their brother came on as an affiliate because they knew Tony and I don't mess around. We created what I believe is the greatest course ever existed. I mean, people are going nuts over it in 150 countries. It's become a movement, dude. I don't know if it's like insanity. So yeah, it was a part of putting a lot of goodwill out to the world. Tony more than me, because he's been in this way more longer than me. Tony changed my life.
I've got both of your books on my bookshelf and on my desk here that I've been reading through.
Oh,
Millionaire Success Habits, and then several Tony books as well.
yeah. So we put a lot of goodwill out there, and it came back. And the cool part is we over delivered. We created one hell of a course, and overnight we were, it was a movement overnight.
That's incredible. And I think the takeaway there, like you said, it didn't just happen overnight, though. It was years and years of knowledge and learning and building that relationship capital. So that's awesome. Okay, another question. How the heck do you manage everything in a 24-hour day?
Yeah.
Like, do you have a routine that you follow? Are you pretty strict with what you do every single day?
Kind of, but not really. Probably a lot less than you think.
Okay.
A lot less than you think. Here's what I do, and this is what I'll share with you, Chris, and everybody else. I say no to mostly everything. I know what's important to me, and this is the best advice I can give you personally. I'm sitting here looking at you while we're doing Zoom here, and to everybody listening. Most things that we do don't matter. There's a lot of things you do because it's been a habit from the past version of you before you grew to another level. There's certain friends you hang out with that if in a new world, if you started today, if you met them today, you'd never be their friend. And I'm not saying that, kick friends to the curb, but here's what I know. I've really identified what's important to me at this phase of my life. I have an 11 and a 13-year-old, and I have a 5-week-old. And I'm in the best relationship of my life. I love my wife to death. She's my best friend. She's my everything. I love making an impact on the world because I felt like I had to fight. My last book's The Underdog Advantage. I felt like such an underdog that I had to fight for it. So I love giving capabilities to people. It gives me a high. If you watch my Instagram, you watch my stories, you read my books, it's like, this is not enthusiasm that I make up to be on a video. This is who I am because I love doing it. So
your passion, right?
Yeah, I'm passionate. I love what I do for a living, and I love my team. I love my kids and my wife. Pretty much everything outside that, dude, I'm not kidding you, I say no to.
That's incredible.
I get invited to the coolest things. I get invited to the Oscars, the Emmys, to fly here, to go on a private island, I'll pick you up in the jet and do here. I do zero. For me, a great night is home with my wife, maybe a glass of wine, or probably less, that's probably playing bump out with my kids or pickleball. And then I'll kiss my wife, cook dinner together, and go to sleep by 9:45.
That's
now, there
amazing.
was a time in my life where I loved it. When I lived in New York, when I first started making money in my 20s, I'd jump on a plane on Thursday night, and I'd be partying in South Beach, Miami, dancing on a table at 4 a.m. on Friday, right? That was a part of my life that was happy for that moment. But then but that's not who I am. I don't want any of it. So I've really defined, and this is what I would tell you, man, I've really narrowed, and Tony is one of my dearest friends in the world. He's really helped me with that. When I was 48, Tony said, who are you going to be in your 50s? He didn't ask me what I was going to accomplish. He never asked how much money I was going to make. He said, who are you going to be? What kind of man are you going to be? What are you going to stand for? And man, that just freaking hit me in the heart. And it's like, I get to go faster than most people because I say no to all the crap that doesn't serve my soul. It doesn't serve God. It doesn't serve my children. And it doesn't serve the people who follow me. If it doesn't, it's not on my list.
Right. That does surprise me. And I guess everyone has their phases. I mean, I remember I used to party in college. Now I'm like, I don't even touch alcohol if it's a regular day. I'm like, why would I want to feel off my game? I'd rather just go to sleep.
Yeah.
So in terms of helping people on your team develop, what's your main advice for that? How do you educate them? Do you just do a lot of one-on-one coaching or group coaching for them personally?
I do, and I'm not just because we created it, but I'm an advocate of self-education. So I really look for people that are A players, that are ready to learn, that are willing. I'd rather have an A player that doesn't know anything about a certain category than a B player who's been in that category forever.
Okay.
So I might hire an A player, young kid, 22, who's a badass, who's never booked a Facebook ad in his life. And then I'll hire a Facebook consultant. I'll say, read Principles by Ray Dalio, read How to Measure Your Life by Alan Christensen, read Shoe Dog, read Peggy McCall's this book, read scientific advertising and then go study with this guy for 4 days straight, and it might cost me 30 grand, but I get to give capabilities and tactics to somebody who's already an A player, who's hungry, who focuses on solutions, who's not about being negative, not about I don't care about college. I don't care if you had a high school degree. I care about the hunger and the ability to want to move forward. And then I love self-educating from there. And it's worked. I have some amazing team. I'm blessed with the team that I have.
And so you provide a little bit of direction on what those things need to be, and then they're hungry enough to go and chase it.
Yep, absolutely.
Incredible. Well, I know we have a couple minutes here. I want to give you the opportunity to share where our listeners can go find you, where they can get your latest book, and then I can put all those links in the show notes.
Sure. My latest book was written for this time. I didn't know about it when I wrote it, but it's called Underdog Advantage. And
Perfect timing.
Underdogs in today's world. Millionaire Success Habits. That's almost at 1 million copies right now. That book is pure fire, but I love my newest book, The Underdog Advantage. You can check it. You go to Amazon or you can go to deansbook.com. At deansbook.com, I got a free book campaign. I pay for the book. You cover the shipping and handling. And then I would say check out my podcast, The Dean Graziosi Show. We just started pushing that kind of hard. We're in the top 100 business podcasts right now. It wasn't on purpose. We were just putting content out there, and then my team's like, we're climbing up the scale. So the podcast is doing amazing. And then Instagram, I think that's my favorite because it's the easiest. I'm on Instagram every single day. It's growing like crazy. And again, you're not going to see what food I had for dinner, or you're not going to see my cars. But what you're going to do is get a valuable takeaway every single day. I never miss a day without a valuable takeaway.
Yeah. And I can attest to the fact that you drop a lot of value. I'm subscribed to your podcast. I follow you on Instagram, got a couple of your books, and I need to get that next one as well. So everyone in the audience, go check it out. Deansbook.com. Is that correct? Deansbook.com. Because I thought you said deansfreebook.com.
That's Millionaire Success Habits.
Oh, okay. So there's Dean's Free Book and then deansbook.com.
The Underdog Advantage is at Dean's Book.
Deansbook.com. And then deansfreebook.com. You might as well check that out too. That's another great book. Well, Dean, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to share some knowledge with my audience, especially during these crazy, uncertain times.
Dude, you're awesome. Keep up the good work, man. And seriously, we need more people in the world like you delivering and sharing a good message and the good word. So keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise. Have a great rest of your day. And I appreciate your time once again.
All right. Thanks, guys.